Hey, it's Leila Hell again. Now I'm going to make a much more personal review of a tarot deck. Here we will be reviewing the Tarot Nefertari, and it's also known as Tarot di Nefertari. This is a Egyptian gold leaf tarot deck, and I've been using it in my studies for Ascetianism. I am an Ascetianist in the sense of I am a enthusiast of the Order of the Asset Ka. They're a secret order, and I am a believer of this order. So I've been participating in an online forum, and I've been doing meditations, scrying, guiding framework. The deck that I use for my work with the Asset Ka is this one, and it's from Lo Scaravium. I can never say it properly, but these are the card backs. And what I like about this deck is that you can use it in your magic practice. You can use it as an amulet, or you can use it to guide a meditation. You can use it to invoke one of the Egyptian deities, and you can use it to have a conversation with deities of that time. Now, this is really just a matter of personal belief and personal practice. Obviously, what works for me does not necessarily work for you. And most of the people that use this deck only really use it for divination, what it's meant to be used for. Although I see a great potential in this deck, and I believe that it is meant to be used for magic, just because of the fact that it includes such a powerful culture and their illustrations. The Egyptians were absolutely enigmatic. They left behind these archives. They told us how they accomplished the wonderful things that they did, and yet here we are, years later, perplexed, trying to figure out their culture, their beliefs, their spiritual beliefs, and whether or not they were really in touch with a higher source or with aliens. Now, this review is not meant to talk about these or superstition. I'm just going to be talking to you very personally about what this deck means for me and how it can be used to connect to your higher self. Now, my signifier is the moon, so it is always the first card that I look for in a deck. And when I saw this card, I saw it in my friend Marcella Kroll's daily draw. And I said to myself, I need to have that deck because it speaks to me. And when I got the deck, I don't think I was ready for what I was getting. What I got was really impressive. It was not at all Rider-Waite, and I was being once more immersed into a culture that I was fascinated with when I was a child. I ended up doing the interview for this deck for my blog, and I never really got around to writing it, just because I felt there was so much material there that I just had nowhere to start. So still today, I have not yet written that review, but I always leave the cards from the review up top, just in case I'm ready to photograph it and write it. And you know what? I think I'm getting ready to. So this is a deck without the interview cards in it. And something that I can really appreciate is the gold leaf all around the scene. So it really feels like it's detached from a sense of place. Here you have a sense of place, of belonging somewhere. There's the ground, and you have the pyramids, and the moon. There's something happening you can clearly see in a way that you can understand. But what happens when your background, your context is taken away completely, and all that you have is a figure with the gold and the elements? To me, this is a scene carried out in divinity, and that is what I use it for. You lay out a card, you meditate into it, you interact with the figure and with the elements inside the card, and what you get from that is really cool. I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the cards. You can actually see the effect of the gold here, and the fact that it's not just flat, it also has texture, and I just see waves energy waves moving. Definitely, I have to admit to you, I'm a very spiritual person, and I am a person that believes in magic. I believe in the effect of tarot in our lives and how it can help us shape ourselves into better people. And this is definitely a really powerful deck to use. Now, it helps if you understand Egyptian culture and Egyptian spirituality. But then again, all you really ever need with a pack of cards is your intuition. And if you don't know much about Egypt, it's not going to hinder your ability to read with this deck, because I'm going to be very honest with you, I'm no master in Egyptology, and I'm never going to be. It's really complex, and there's so much there to dig up. But even then, you don't need that when you're working with your intuition. Your intuition is your most powerful tool, anytime, any given time. You always have to trust it, and you have to learn to listen to it, even when you feel it might be leading you wrong. So I recognize this as Osiris, and that's something that I really enjoy when a card comes up and it's an entity that I'm familiar with, it's an entity that I've had conversations about, I feel a much closer connection to the card. So I definitely encourage you, if you're a magic practitioner, if you want to practice high magic, invocation, meditation, channeling archetypes, this deck is really wonderful for channeling. And I think that because of the gold in the back, gold being such a high resonance color and energy, it's definitely going to help you out. To my understanding, the most evolved color of your aura is gold. Either gold or white. Please feel free to correct me on that. But I definitely do get a really divine feeling from these cards when I look at them, just because they don't look Rider-Waite, and yet the format that they've been fit into is Rider-Waite, and they looked for images that would sort of fit that. Now we have Anubis. And you know what? That's okay. I don't mind that they had to fit it into Rider-Waite, because if I'm not feeling my most creative, I can just look at the traditional names and lace the cards together and give you a pretty damn good prediction still. But if not, and if you're feeling adventurous, you can then venture the depths of the psyche and of your higher self. You can project into a new place, and you can see some pretty fascinating things. This is definitely a good deck for magic practitioner. Something that I've always wanted to do with this deck is to keep a diary of my card pulls and document my process of getting to know this deck, getting to know the order of Asset Ka, and improving my readings. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the Tarot Nefertari. I'm so sorry, I can't pronounce that word in my life. But it's a really beautiful tarot deck, and I recommend that you get it to complete your collection. Have a good night. Bye-bye.